Welcome to our kitchen. Today we prepare medieval fish tortelli, colored with squid ink, from Anonimo Toscano's Libro della Cucina, written in the 14th century. We start with the ingredients. We need a gilded sea bream, some squids, flour, almonds, aromatic herbs, scallions, fennel, mint, savory and garlic mustard, and spices, ginger, white pepper, and grains of paradise. We are excited to announce the release of our new book, Early Italian Recipes, Fish, Seafood, and Fish Sauces, available in English and Italian. The book contains 111 recipes, including several preparations for fish sauces, such as garum, alex, and enugarum, accompanied by an extensive introduction about the use of fish in Italian cuisine, from the antiquity to the end of the Renaissance, with references to dietetic theories, religious customs, and culinary techniques that still influence the recipes of our country. To prepare the filling, we mince the aromatic herbs and the ginger, grind the spices, and mince the sea bream. Then we mix these ingredients with 2 pinches of salt. The original recipe by Anonimo Toscano doesn't provide instructions for the herbs, spices, or type of fish to use. For this preparation, we suggest a fish with a delicate flavor, such as gilded sea bream, sea bass, trout, or grey mullet, but you can use whatever you like. As for the aromatic herbs, choose the Mediterranean varieties you have at your disposal, such as parsley, dill, marjoram, oregano, rosemary, sage, and thyme, in addition to the herbs mentioned earlier. We chose a very delicate blend of spices that enhances the flavor of the fish, but other possible choices are nutmeg, cloves, cinnamon, saffron, and other varieties of pepper. We extract the ink sac from the squids and dilute the ink with water. The amount of ink can change considerably from one squid to another. We'll use the squids in an ancient recipe that we'll show you in a future video. We need the flour with the colored water and 2 pinches of salt. Squid ink is not essential for a good outcome of this recipe, but will give the pasta a beautiful black color and a nice flavor. Another passage of this source mentions this ingredient as a coloring agent for sauces, broths, and other dishes. Anonimo Toscano doesn't describe the preparation of the pasta for fish tortelli, but in another passage he writes that we can color the dough as we like. The main colors used in medieval recipes are yellow, usually achieved by adding saffron to the flour, and green, which is obtained by using herb juice instead of water. You can also leave the pasta white and still end up with a delicious dish. We roll a sheet of pasta, then we cut it into large squares, add the filling, fold them into triangles, and join the 2 smaller tips. If you prefer, you can also cut them around the size that you like, and fold them in half, or place another sheet of pasta over the filling, and seal it, or use different shapes. Unlike today, the word tortelli refers more to a sheet of pasta than to stuffed pasta, and sometimes even to different preparations, such as the chickpea crepes in the Liber de Cucina. According to Anonimo Toscano, tortelli can be shaped in many ways, such as horseshoes, buckles, rings, letters, and even animals. They can be simply made with plain pasta or stuffed, colored as we like. The same recipe we used for this stuffed pasta is also recommended for salsicce, a term that in this case doesn't mean sausages, but fish cakes. The cakes, prepared with the same ingredients, can be shaped in many ways and fried in olive oil. To learn more about fish and stuffed pasta in the history of Italian cuisine, check out our books Early Italian Recipes, Fish, Seafood and Fish Sauces, and Early Italian Recipes, Cereals, Pasta, Bread and Pies, which contains several recipes for pasta selected from primary sources, starting from the antiquity to the end of the Renaissance. In addition, our translation of Anonimo Toscano's Libro della Cucina is accompanied by an extensive introduction about medieval cuisine, ingredients and culinary techniques, along with a glossary of the Tuscan vernacular. On Patreon, you'll also find several translations of medieval sources and articles on historical food. To support our work, you can also buy us a beer and purchase our merchandise. All the links are in the description below, along with a list of our books. We grind the peeled almonds and dilute them with water. Then we filter the almond milk and use it to cook the tortelli. Cooking pasta in almond milk is a technique mentioned by Maestro Martino, typically used during the lean days. In addition, in a recipe in Anonimo Fiorentino's cookbook, tortelli are served in almond milk. Other possible cooking techniques involve frying the tortelli, but we chose to boil them to preserve their black color. We serve them with the almond milk, dusting with white pepper and grains of paradise. These tortelli were one of the best things we ever tried, delicate and flavorful at the same time. The flavor of squid ink paired perfectly with the delicious mixture of fish, spices and herbs, enhanced by the slight sweetness of almond milk. This is a dish that deserves to be tried in many variations, changing the main ingredients and coloring the dough in different ways, to experience the incredible complexity and refined culinary techniques of the Italian Middle Ages. If you're interested in ancient foods and flavors, subscribe our channel and consider supporting us on Patreon.